Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a topic many of you are probably curious about, building a significant income online, potentially starting from scratch.
hmm And we're doing this by diving deep into a single, pretty compelling source you shared with us.
Exactly. It's a YouTube video chronicling one person's journey. Someone who claims they went from minimum wage at age 15 to earning over $5 million by the time they were, what, 22?
Yeah, 22. It's quite a story, really. It traces a past that feels, both aspirational and, frankly, incredibly challenging at times.
Right.
The source lays out the key stages, the different online business models they try, the income milestones, and maybe most importantly, the hard-won lessons learned along the way.
Exactly. So our mission here is to really dig into this narrative, pull out those essential nuggets, those takeaways, and help you see what might be relevant if you're exploring similar paths online.
And thanks for bringing the source to us, by the way. It gives us a really vivid case study to explore.
It certainly does, and it starts right at the beginning, grounded in a very, very real financial situation.
Yeah, let's set that scene.
Okay, so the story kicks off age 15, working minimum wage at Tim Hortons, a fast food place.
But the motivation wasn't just pocket money, right? It was serious stuff. Saving for college, sure, but also, crucially, helping mom pay the bills.
Yeah, and the context there is pretty tough. The story highlights a really challenging financial reality. Mom working two minimum wage jobs, just trying to keep things afloat.
Wow.
There are even times this person mentions having to skip school just to pick up extra shifts at their own job, to contribute.
That's a heavy weight for a teenager.
Huh. And there's this moment they describe that really hits home, seeing mom completely exhausted, working alone at a shawarma shop, just running back and forth. It sounds like that image was like a powerful catalyst,
Right.
really solidified that desire to make a big change.
That emotional driver scene's key. And it connects directly to the first big lesson they identified early on, the absolute necessity of work ethic.
Right. Not about feeling motivated, they say, but just showing up, doing the work, especially when you really don't want to.
Which they frame as critical for everything that came later.
And that work ethic, it had a tangible result early on, saving money. By age 16, just from that minimum wage job, they'd managed to save $5,000 in the first year.
$5,000, which, okay, brings us to what we could call stage one, building that foundational $5K.
Yeah, nothing glamorous, just consistent effort, saving up that initial capital for, well, whatever came next.
And that $5,000 became the fuel for stage two. But this is the leap, or maybe more like the stumble and recovery phase, going from $5,000 to $60,000.
Right. This is where the trying, failing, learning, and persisting really takes center stage.
So armed with that $5,000 at 16, they jumped into their first business attempt, drop shipping.
And the motivation. Seeing those online gurus, right, making it look easy, watching YouTube videos, even buying courses.
You've all seen those. But the reality check came fast, really fast. Spent $500 on ads in just 7 days. Zero sales. Made absolutely nothing. Eventually, the entire $5,000 investment just vanished. Gone.
Ouch. That's rough.
Yeah, and they're really candid about the emotional fallout, feeling like the world crashed down, struggling with depression, feeling totally alone, and actually giving up on the whole online business idea for a while. It was a major setback.
But that failure, as devastating as it sounds, led to a crucial realization later on. Looking back, they saw they needed to develop actual skills.
Exactly. They pinpointed what was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing know-how, how to actually pick winning products, creating effective ads, writing persuasive website copywriting, that skill of writing text designed to sell.
Those fundamentals.
Right. So after hitting rock bottom with that first attempt, they took a break, a significant one, maybe 6 months to a year, and just focused on learning those core digital marketing skills.
Copywriting, sales principles, video editing, graphic design.
All of it. They really emphasized this period of skill building for anyone starting out online. Highly recommended, they say.
Okay, so armed with these new skills, age 17 now, they decide to try drop shipping again, but differently this time.
Totally different approach. The strategy shifted dramatically. Instead of pouring all the money into one idea.
Which burned them before.
Exactly. They started with small tests, only spending like $100 to $200 testing out different products. Much lower risk.
Smart, learning from the pain. But did it work right away?
Well, persistence became the hero here. Because after testing 4 or 5 products, still zero sales. Again.
Oh, no. They must have been thinking, here we go again.
Totally. They were apparently right on the verge of quitting, again. but decided, okay, let's test just one more
A
product.
classic one more try.
And
And
that one more happened to be a trending dog water bottle.
dog water bottle. Okay.
And here's where it gets really interesting. That single product just took off, scaled quickly, generated over $60,000 in profit in just a few months.
60,000. Wow. Imagine seeing 60K in your bank account at 17 after all that struggle and failure.
They describe it as feeling absolutely life-changing, unreal.
So this success in stage 2 really hammers home that second big lesson from their journey. Persistence is absolutely crucial.
Oh, definitely. They were right there, ready to throw in the towel, but that one last push made all the difference.
Interesting, though, even after that success, they reflect that drop shipping maybe wasn't the most sustainable or beginner-friendly model.
Because of the high skill requirements, the risk involved compared to maybe other options out there.
So what did they do with the $60K profit in the business?
Well, eventually they closed down those dropshipping stores. By this point, they'd built up about $100,000 total from the profit, earlier savings, maybe some stock market stuff too.
Okay.
And they decided to kind of step back, invest that capital, and just wait for the next opportunity to emerge.
Which brings us neatly to stage 3, the pivot. Going from $100,000 up towards $1 million. And this phase shifts dramatically, right? Into content creation and building an audience.
Yeah, completely different direction.
Yeah.
So age 18, this is around 2020, they noticed TikTok is just blowing up.
Everyone noticed that.
Right. And they saw an opening. They could share the finance knowledge they'd been gathering over the years and realize, hey, there aren't many young women doing this, creating relatable content in the finance space.
Finding a niche. And they had the skills now.
Exactly. They immediately leveraged those skills, learned during that break, the copywriting, video editing, graphic design to create engaging content.
In the account, Sarah Finance, it just took off.
Exploded, basically, getting thousands, sometimes millions of views within weeks. It was rapid growth.
Oh.
And they talk about the immense satisfaction, not just from the views, but from the messages they got. People saying they started investing or even started their own small businesses because of the content. That adding value part was clearly a big driver.
That must feel good. Did they stick just to TikTok?
No, they quickly expanded, grew their presence on Instagram and YouTube as well, building across platforms.
And the income, did that follow the audience growth?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
After about a year of this content creation, so now age 19, they were making around $50,000 a month.
$50,000 a month at 19.
Yeah. Primarily from sponsorships and promoting affiliate products. They describe it as feeling unreal, especially after those years of financial anxiety.
I bet. But even with that kind of success, was there a catch?
Well, they identified a challenge.
Hmm.
The income, while high, was inconsistent. It fluctuated quite a bit month to month.
The freelancer roller coaster, even at a high level.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And that inconsistency, even though they'd reached about $1 million in total assets by then, prompted stage 4.
Okay, stage 4, the strategic leap. From $1 million to over $5 million. This sounds like it's about optimizing, finding leverage.
Exactly. It's about analyzing leverage and doubling down on what's most scalable. So age 19, with about $1 million saved or invested, they really sat down and looked hard at where the money was coming from, trying to understand stability and growth potential.
Smart. Breaking it down, what did they find?
They laid it out. Roughly $15K a month from sponsorships, maybe $5K a month from YouTube AdSense.
That's the ad revenue on videos.
Right. Then $10K a month from affiliate marketing and about $20K a month from coaching.
Okay, a mix of streams.
But based on this analysis, affiliate marketing just jumped out. They called it a gold mine.
Why that one specifically?
Well, they were earning $10 a month for what felt like relatively little time investment compared to the others, and they saw its massive potential for scaling up.
The effort to reward ratio.
Precisely. They reflect they probably should have focused on affiliate marketing much earlier and really recommended for beginners.
And the reasoning for beginners.
Because unlike dropshipping, you don't need to create your own product. You don't need huge amounts of capital up front, no complex logistics. You're essentially just promoting other people's products for a commission.
So the main barrier is getting eyes on the offers.
Yeah, the main skill needed, they say, is learning how to create viral content to drive that traffic.
Okay, so realizing this, they made a strategic shift.
A very conscious one. While keeping the content brand, Sarah Finance, going, they pulled back a bit on sponsorships and poured most of their energy into building out the affiliate marketing side of things.
And the results?
Dramatic. Affiliate marketing quickly became their biggest income stream, soaring to $30,000, sometimes $50,000 a month.
Wow. On top of the other streams.
Yeah, plus the roughly $20K a month still coming in from YouTube and some sponsorships. So a big jump overall.
Now, a common question with affiliate marketing is needing a huge following, right? Does the source address that?
It does. They mentioned discovering some kind of new method that allowed them and others they taught, apparently, to succeed without thousands of followers or even showing their face.
Interesting. Any examples?
They cite examples of students using this method achieving pretty impressive results like $90 in a year or 66K in just a few months. The source does point to a course for details on this method, which we're just relaying from the material provided.
Got it. So that strategic pivot, really analyzing the income streams and finding that leverage point.
That seems to be what catapulted them from that $1 million mark to where they are now.
Which brings us to the current state described in the source exceeding $5 million by age 22.
Yeah. Quite the end point for the journey so far.
And the personal impact. How has it changed things?
Well, clearly it's significant. They talk about buying a dream house, having the freedom to travel anywhere. Pretty standard stuff for financial success, maybe. But the point they highlight as the most significant is being able to take care of their mom.
Back to the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's mention of a photo of them on vacation together in California, and just the profound relief that mom no longer has to work those demanding jobs.
That really brings the story full circle, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. From that teenager just trying to help with bills to reaching a place where their mom can stop working entirely.
Does the source say if they still work hard?
Yeah, they say that core work ethic is still there, definitely. But that crippling financial worry, the thing that defined their early years, that's finally gone.
A different kind of freedom.
And the concluding message shared in the source is really one of possibility. They seem to genuinely believe this kind of journey is achievable for others who are struggling. Provided they learn from mistakes, maybe their mistakes specifically have a clear plan, and critically just refuse to give up. That persistence theme again.
So reflecting on this whole journey, it's quite remarkable. Minimum wage, debt, multi-million-dollar success by 22, navigating failures, learning skills, strategically shifting focus across different online business models.
Yeah, and through it all, we see those core lessons pop up again and again. That non-negotiable foundation of work ethic and saving.
The painful but essential need to develop relevant skills.
The power of persistence through those inevitable setbacks.
And that strategic intelligence, required to analyze what's working and figure out where the real leverage lies.
These aren't just bullet points from a video, right? They're potential guideposts you might consider as you navigate your own learning path or maybe your own ventures.
Definitely food for thought. It's a story that certainly didn't follow a straight line, full of ups and downs, false starts, those pivotal changes in direction.
Absolutely. Not a smooth ride at all.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe, for you, the listener, to consider. Looking at this entire arc, the early struggle, the failed drop shipping attempt, that intense period of skill learning, the rise with content creation, and then that final explosive growth driven by scaling affiliate marketing. What single factor stands out to you?
Good question.
What do you think was the most critical element that allowed this person to navigate all that uncertainty and ultimately succeed? Was it the specific business models they chose? Was it the timing, jumping on platforms like TikTok? Was it the foundational skills they acquired? Or maybe something else entirely?
Yeah, what was the key ingredient in that mix?
Something to mull over as you think about your own path.